Hey everyone, welcome back to Comic Frontline. We have a special e-panel tonight with Pat and Amy Shan.
Hello.
How's it going?
You introduced the cast real fast. We have Chris and Michael.
Hello. Hey everybody.
We have Mike Spider Slayer.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And
I think Jay skipped out,
And we
but
have Cat Comic
no, I said Cat.
Oh, I didn't hear you on my side.
It froze,
so-
Jay.
Oh, sorry.
Hey guys.
Okay.
I was only
They're
one
doing
left,
something
so
here, so my internet has been cracked because they're doing construction on a new hotel, and they're like the stuff here is just making my internet crap. So sorry everybody. But we have our special guests, like I said, we have Pat and Amy Shan. And they're gonna be here talking about Pat, you want to introduce Amy? Which one do you want to do the introduction of what you're talking about tonight?
go ahead, baby.
We're kickstarting a new book. It's an all-ages, full-color graphic novel called Clonsters. It's about a world of adventurous, friendly monsters who go on adventures together. And we're co-writing it. Amy is the creator of the book. And we're on Kickstarter right now. We're aiming to get a goal of a total of 8,500. And we are over halfway toward the goal now, and we have 8 days left.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I make things out of clay. They're little characters, and we created a story and a world around them. So that's what it's about.
All right, we're gonna start with some questions.
Yeah.
First, we got a question directly related to this: is where did the actual idea for where did it all come from?
I love arts and crafts. Hold on, I need to put this quieter because I'm in my own head. Okay. Okay. Hello. Better. So I make a lot of arts and crafts after work, and I am a collector also. And I have a huge imagination. So every time I'm making something and I'm like, oh, I love this. Pat says, what's that? What's its name? Where'd it come from? This and that. And I just answer him and we talk about it. And then when we were thinking about doing another project for continuity, his company, his publishing company, he was like, hey, do you want to actually make a real story about Clonsters? And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that sounds amazing. So it is. It's so fun to see it come to life. So basically, it's my toys come to life in their own like fantastical, magical world.
Yeah, we've Amy has brought the Clonsters that she created from clay to conventions before, and people have asked where they can get them. They've asked how she makes them. They're always surprised how small they are. So even before the graphic novel, there was an interest from people. So we decided that, and true too.
Tiny too.
Yes,
So they'll
very
come
small
to
like
the
this.
table and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know how.
I saw them on your Instagram, Amy, because I follow you on Instagram. I saw when you started doing them. I thought they were amazing when you were first starting them. They were awesome.
They're really fun. I love tiny things. So the smaller, the better. All the detail is my favorite. So.
And we noticed too that when we go to booths to booth at a convention, that the top sellers at my booth are always the all ages books. So while it's not that easy to get an all ages book funded on Kickstarter, but we do know that once it is funded, that's going to be for us as well. So it's cool from a creative point, and also there is a market for all ages books. People want these. People love the Adventure Time comics. They love the all ages books coming out of Boom, out of Oni. So we thought, let's do one ourselves.
It's just going to be like fun and weird and a little wacky.
Yeah.
Like my brain.
Yeah, I know. Even our fellow frontliner Brant, I know, like Fireside Tales is an all ages book, and that's a pretty good seller for.
Absolutely.
It seems to be a common thing for cons, even though more adults go to them. They tend to buy more all ages books.
Yeah, because they're like, now we see them with their kids, or they're shopping for gifts for their family and stuff. So
I think it's good to have those more ages books, though, personally, because it just gives more selection for kids to to go after. I think there's the mainstream of books is for adults, so I think it's a good market to hit personally.
Absolutely, and as writers, we want to do everything. You know?
Just
I have ideas on our own, and we've had ideas together. Ideas that we've had range from Clonsters, which is all ages, all the way to sort of crazier, gorier sci-fi type stuff. So, you know, we're do anything, do whatever, and find the books that interest us most and that we're passionate about. And Clonsters has been a passion for Amy and me as a fan of her work for a while. So, yeah, we're definitely glad to be doing it as a comic.
And that's awesome because that's an introduction, like Jay and Mike were saying, for kids, especially, you know, with people like us. Like I have a son. I would love to introduce him into the world of comics one day, and it's a perfect way for them to step in. And that's why we actually support the Kickstarter, because Cindy and I actually want to have it for our son as he's getting older. He's getting into comics now, so
that's awesome.
Yeah, I have 4 little brothers too, so when I'm writing it, I kind of like gear it towards not just them, but I think and I know that they would enjoy it too. And they range from age like whatever 11 to 21. So
cool.
He's my little brother, and he's still 5.
Nice.
That's weird because Chris is still like 5 too.
4.
No.
5 and a half. Go
Michael's
5
a
and
little bit more mature than Chris, so I don't know how Chris
I
is
was
the older
asked
brother
last night. I was asked who the older brother was in the live show last night because nobody could tell.
Guys are
That's a good
twins.
thing.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say that, like, I think that's actually great to have, targeted children to read the comic books, especially this one, because
Helps reading also.
and it helps their reading, and it could
Absolutely.
really make a difference to them, because it could impact them in so many ways. Like for you with Superman,
Yep, save
and-
my reading. I was
right,
below average.
and for me with Spider-Man and all that. But that's why I think that the comic for children should be always the main importance for them to get reading first.
Mhm.
Yes.
And this one's fun too because if they really like a character, or because I love toy adventures and toy collecting and stuff, so if they do like love a character, I'll totally make it for them, and they can bring it like I do. I carry things around in my pocket. Like it ranges from like stones to toys to live animals if I'm allowed.
Mhm.
I'm like, I don't like to be alone, so.
Yeah, I saw your Facebook Live with the with what Pat called your ratchet.
Yeah,
Oh,
I have rats.
She has them right here.
I have a rat.
They are right.
It's because
right
they're really
here.
young right now, so I'm like, bonding with them, so I spend a lot of time with them. I'm kind of obsessed.
Yeah, so
What? Yeah. Go ahead.
when they start crawling on you, I was like, oh, I could never do that.
Oh, I know.
I've worked in an animal lab, so
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but Chris, you were a test subject. That's different.
Ah.
I'm sorry, but they kept me with the
Oh, no.
animals, so I got used to the mice and everything crawling on me. I like working with animals.
With
Animals are great.
and it's more of a general question.
Yeah.
It's when writing any book you come up with, where do your ideas normally come from?
See, that's the question because it's so general that the answer is not going to sound that interesting. They come from anywhere. I've had ideas infrequently, but still in dreams. A lot of it is two things combined: things that have happened to me and asking myself, "What if?" With Clonsters, it's Amy and I just look at the characters that she's created, and I'll ask her questions, as she said, and she'll build story ideas based on that. With Destiny New York, a lot of that is me taking a general what-if kind of concept, like what if, and by the way, those noises you hear are my crazy hungry cats.
Mhm.
I just fed them, but they're like, more! But yeah, so with Destiny New York, that was taking an overall concept that I had, a kind of what-if idea, and merging it with aspects of my life, things that I was interested in, things that I cared about very much. And I sort of use that story as a journal, where there are other books that are more like a general what-if, where a I'm telling this one story, Prodigal. It's a creator-owned comic. It's coming out next year. I can't announce what company it's coming out through or who's drawing it yet. But the idea with Prodigal is, what would happen to a town if everyone who ever died there came back as a ghost? And it's the story of that town and why it happened in that town. What's the effect that has on the rest of the world, and how do they react to this one town filled with dead people? So yeah, they really come from anywhere.
All right, cool. We have another question. Kat, you want to field it?
Yeah. So we were talking about all ages. Obviously, that this project is for all ages. So what do you think kids in particular are going to really like about this?
I would say that, first of all, the look of it and the colors and just the overall style and feel of the story is really fun. And like I said before, like fantastical and magical, and also I think that they'll be able to relate to the characters a little more. We were just talking today when we went to lunch, because our editor Shannon had a jury duty around here, and so she stopped by and we had lunch and we were talking about our characters together, and we were talking about Polly, and she was telling me, is she more of like a timid? Is she scared of things, or is she more of like a go-getter? And I was telling her, I love Polly myself, because when I look at her, I feel like she's down for whatever. Like, she sees the ocean and she thinks like, I gotta go down there, so I'm gonna go back to my house and make a contraption so I can go down under there. Like, there's no for Polly. And I think that that's gonna be really fun and exciting for kids, because it'll give them a sense of like, I can do anything. If I have a question, I'll find an answer, like no matter what the ends of my like adventure are, essentially. I just think it's going to be really fun. She has two little brothers, which are fun and rambunctious too. So there's a little bit of like a slapstick comedic aspect going on there as well. What else?
I mean, what I think about in this book is that when I was a kid and I watched movies, there was no rhyme or reason to why I latched on to certain characters, but I always did. In Lion King, I love the hyenas. I'm not sure why. I love them. So with Clonsters, we're giving each of these characters distinct personalities and making each of them have these traits that they stand out in a way that to make them very unique in the cast. So there's going to be characters for everyone to look at and go, oh, that's who I love best. And as you were saying, the two brothers, I think that those are characters that people are going to actually really love.
Cool. What made you and Amy decide, or Amy, you and Pat to decide that this would be your first real collaboration? It's the first time you two, correct me if I'm wrong, are, coming together and
yeah, you're right.
Writing a book together.
For me, this is so cool and amazing, because I'm watching Pat like in his career and do his job, and every day he works at home, but I don't know 100% of what he's doing now. I'm a part of his job as of right now, because of the posts are about Clonsters and this and that. And so sorry, what was the question? How do we decide? Or
how did this one become the first one?
Decided this project.
Basically, this is the story that I have the most, the most of. I have a few different ideas where I'm all, oh, what if we did this? What if we did this? And he, oh, that's a good idea. If you ever want to do that, let me know. But Pat is the one that says he's pushing me to actually do it, because I work and I do other things, and he really is keeping on track. So the way we decided to do Clonsters is like, hey, Clonsters exist. Can we do this? And I said, yeah. And now he's like rearing it, and I'm there, and I'm helping in any way that I can. But we decided, because I love Clonsters so much. It's like one of my main things that I do. It's one of my main hobbies. And I think you just wanted to work with me too.
It's true. We've talk about ideas sometimes, like
spend a lot of time together anyway.
It's true. It's true. She is here. So sometimes I keep ideas to myself. I don't really voice them until they're ready to be created. But sometimes I'll voice an idea to, or she'll voice one to me, and we'll start talking about it. And really, this project could have been 4 different books. We had that one sort of sci-fi alien one. There's a witch idea, and then there's a different alien idea, and there's Clonsters. So she does love aliens. We really could have done any of those books.
Too. I love alien books. Don't say aliens unless you're going to bring it out for me.
I mean, that one we will definitely at some point do. That one might be something to pitch around to 2 companies first. But yeah, it could have been any of those books. It just ended up being Clonsters because I think the best advice I've ever seen writing-wise is write what's most important to you right now. And that's what I did with Destiny New York. And when it came time to do one with Amy, it was Clonsters.
You can tell that you're the most passionate when talking about Clonsters, especially Amy, that this is her passion. This is her biggest passion. Out of all the books you just mentioned, Clonsters is definitely something that's close to her heart. And for both of you to work together on this, especially, I'm sure it's an amazing experience.
It really is.
It's so great because it's a hobby of mine and I use it to relieve stress. And Pat, I've always said, is my #1 fan. Like, I'll finish a character and he'll fall in love with it. He'll kiss it goodnight.
It's true.
So it is. It's really to our hearts. So it's great.
We have a question from a viewer, but I'm not sure if it's directed for you guys or if it's directed a general question. So I'm going to try to field it because it's from Comically Flawed, and it says, obviously you're highlighting this book now, but what's the best way to find stuff on Kickstarter? For our viewing audience, the easiest way for you to do it is go on Comic Frontline. There is a Kickstarter Spotlight, which is right now we have Clonsters up there, but we also have Kickstart the Week, or sometimes it's Kickstart the Weekend, where Nicole DeAndrea, one of our writers over on the site, gets to interview Kickstarter campaigns. She writes about it, she gets it out there, and that's how we highlight them for Comic Frontline. And sometimes we'll do e-panels like this. We had Pat Shane on. This is his 2nd Kickstarter, and we've had him on for both of them. So those are both great ways. And I guess you could just search on Kickstarter too, comic books on Kickstarter. There's a lot of good projects out there. Stars for her comic book, she's put it out there. Check social media. Those are other ways that you can find good Kickstarters. I mean, there's a lot of ways to find good Kickstarters.
Friend a lot of writers, because writers love to share other writers' projects. So that's how I find a lot of Kickstarters that I back also.
And other comic book journalists too. Comic book, a lot of comic book journalists want to share Kickstarters. So go check out Twitter and Facebook, really. I think those are the biggest thing. Follow the comic book community on those.
I have to say, I think the comic book community with the writers and the creators, artists and all that, they're very intricate and they like to help each other out.
Absolutely.
I can see that with from Pat with his book. I know a lot of his friends went out there and supported it. Larry has a tier on there where you can get something from Larry from Robin Hood. So there's always great ways to find Kickstarters. So any of those ways that we mentioned will be great ways to go find them.
Yes.
And you can't say Comic Frontline e-panels without saying Pat Shan. Pat was one of the first.
He was the first.
He
was on our very first one, the Zenoscope e-panel.
He lives here. He lives in the apartment.
I would say Pat Shan helped create the e-panel because we came up, we all were talking and we came up with the Zenoscope. Pat Shan was a part of creating the e-panel with us. So
definitely.
And he helped me break the ice when it came to interviewing people at New York Comic Con. My first interview, I was nervous as hell, but he was cool as a cucumber. And the interview went great. And I'm like, okay, this guy, I like how we just did this interview, and I just got brave. I started asking everybody for interviews. Some people looked at me weird, but I got a couple of nice ones after that.
I looked at you weird. Then you realize they weren't all like Pat Shan.
Because that's just you. You're weird naturally.
You know what? Okay.
I'm glad to be a recurring guest. I love doing these things,
We love having you on too.
Thank you again for having me and for having Amy.
Yeah, this is fun. Thank you so much.
I got a question real quick,
Okay.
Jay. I got a question real quick. I saw that one of the creatures in there is like in Clonsters is like cat type of creature. Is that go to the love of cats, Pat?
Not meat cat, actual cats.
Cats, yeah.
Well, let me bounce off of that, Mike.
Yeah.
Add a little bit more. While you're talking about that species of Clonster, can you tell us about all the different species of Clonsters? Because I know there's different like splats and all that. Can you tell us about all the different species?
Their own like species and background, sort of. So there's nuggets, and that's like the main shape essentially. That is the nugget. So there's earth nuggets, which come from the earth, and then there's sea nuggets from the earth under the sea. So they're the same shape, but they're like adorned with like shells and whatever.
Spiral horn.
The sea. They also have the spiral horn, which is important in the story. And there's also space nuggets, which are green and from space. They come from Clonsters is clay nuggets, so they're made out of clay, but it depends on what kind of clay, like Mars clay, Venus clay, Earth clay, under the sea clay. And then splats are like the animals to the humans. So splats are they have 2 legs instead of arms and legs. They have like that tail. And the reason they're called splats is because in ancient times, beginning of time, when splats first existed, they used to fall from the sky, and they would like be like this gelatinous blob from the sky, and they would like land on the ground and they would go like that, and that's the sound. Splat. And then shortly after, their tail would like curl up, their legs would go down, and their tongue would stick out because they all have that tongue. That's all. And
I can see myself buying a Toys R Us. A Toys R Us in that blind bag section where it's like you could get a splat or a nugget or something.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Different types of nuggets.
And you just have like 100. You get 100, and then you got like a blind bag with like 2 of them in there, and it's like buy as many bags as you want.
Gotta have some rares in there though.
Limited edition nugget.
Golden, sparkly, glow in the dark kind.
Oh my God! Speaking of, I do love glow in the dark clay. There are a few from the beginning of my clay making when I had a glow in the dark set of clays. So if I turn the lights off, I can see a little bit of glow in the dark on my shelf from like when I had that. But that'd be cool to know and use it for the story. So yeah, so there's splats. There's also a few different other ones. Like I also make mandrake roots with faces, like sort of like Harry Potter style, that I really like, that are cute. Pet rocks are something I made out of clay, but now they're their own character in the story, and they're not so much pet rocks as they are like rocks that have been around for a long time. And they're really slow moving and slow talking, but they are really wise because they sit and they watch everything, and they don't have any other choice. So if you have a chance to, and you have the patience to listen to like for them to get to the end of their stories or whatever, then you will learn a lot. And Polly actually learned something from one of the stones in the story in the beginning of the story.
Oh, that sounds cool. I love the whole like event describing them. That was just awesome. I love that. It really shows a passion for the project.
Very interesting.
I have one more question about Kickstarter and for you. What made you take this project to Kickstarter, and why a shorter campaign instead of the longer one like you did Destiny?
Right. Well, I have my real answer, and I have my marketable answer. The marketable answer is that there's more intensity in a short campaign, and two, the Destiny New York, so it's to minimize that kind of a dead area in the middle, we did a shorter campaign. However, the also real answer is that entire month was very, very difficult, and
it's stressful, right?
So stressful. And at this point, I have a lot of work for hire gigs that I have to do. And the truth of the matter is that when I have a Kickstarter going for 30 days, it becomes increasingly difficult to not just do that all day. And it makes it hard to work. So I had to find a balance between a long enough campaign to get it done and also leaving myself enough time and mental health to keep on working.
Cool. Yeah, because I was wondering why it was a shorter campaign, and I know from Kat's experience because I've been with her for all her Q&As and all, and I can't tell you how many times she called me up, texted me, was like, "Oh my God, I'm stressing out so much."
The long ones, my editor likes the long ones, and they're just really, really stressful on your mental health.
Yeah, Kat constantly.
Oh yeah.
Every post on my Facebook is like Clonsters.
Yep.
Clonsters.
It's constant push, and it's like I'm being annoying, but I care more about the book happening than people thinking I'm annoying. So fuck it. I mean, if any kids are watching, don't listen to what I just said.
That's a bad word, children. Never say that.
Language.
Yeah, just listen to the rocks and not Pat with that.
Yeah.
They'll guide you to the path of wisdom.
Say, not as we do.
Yes.
But I think other Kickstarter, people understand that. Because, I think there is that balance of, like, how much do you share, how much do you not? But it's like, I need to share because I need people to see it. That's more important than anything. Like, all right, I lose one Facebook friend or, gain.
Honestly, I'd say if someone who is supposed to be on your friends as your friend can't see that and support that you're doing it for that, then I mean, does it really bother you that something like that comes up on your social media feed?
As a friend, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, I was just going to say, some people it does bother, and I mean, I don't mind losing that friend because, I mean, we're following our passions here, and I was a bit more precious with how I did Destiny New York, in that I was nervous about like scaring people off or losing possible pledges. But with Clonsters, I'm like, I'm gonna do anything. I'm gonna post it. I worked in a live video. If I twerked, and they did, I've been sending personal messages, which I hadn't done before. But I'm like, the Facebook algorithms prevent everyone from seeing it.
Yep.
Yes, it does.
So the worst case scenario is that someone doesn't reply or someone deletes me, and in that case, bye Felicia. I don't care.
Also, to help the Facebook algorithm, because I've learned this through Kickstarter, is that if you get more likes, it's going to get on more people's feeds, and if you have more shares. So, like, instead of posting on, let's say, your Destiny New York like page, instead, share it from that one post onto your like page.
Right.
That will give you more of your
algorithm. Instagram is your best friend, and I've seen a lot of posts for Clonsters on Instagram. Instagram is slowly growing in ways that are insane, but yes. And I've liked every single one, I think, up until a few hours ago. I haven't been on Instagram in a while.
Thanks, man.
Getting twitches. Shame. I know.
Kat, you have a question?
Yeah, my last question is just how did you figure out what you wanted to do as your pledges? Like, you had a lot of kind of limited edition pledges. I think that's really cool. So, like, how did you figure that all out?
This one is a learning process because with Destiny, I knew that it's a different audience, and I have audiences that were kind of built in from the various books that I've done. So I knew that, say, the Robin Hood that the audience might want. But since this is an all-ages book, I had to think what appeals, right? So I added stickers, and as I've been going along, since we do have some funds at our disposal from the publisher, and not much funds, but it's just it's enabled me to hire artists throughout the campaign and to also get some donations. Like, for instance, Larry Watts, as you mentioned, he donated 2 commissions. Renzo, I have a new commission coming in. my thought here is that campaigns are fluid. You know, you don't have to stick with and commit to what you had when you began. So I'm seeing as we go who's buying what's not working, and as we go along, I'm adding more and more levels. So hopefully people who weren't might see something new that they like and jump in then. So this one, we're just keeping it fluid, you know?
And I'm not really familiar with any of that stuff either, so I'm doing what I can as far as like what I can offer, because he's a writer and an editor, and I make clay. So Facebook Live and Instagram Live at 6 o'clock, and I'm gonna make a nugget on the video and answer any questions and stuff. And at the end, I'll put that specific character up for sale. And I don't know if it'll like be through Kickstarter or through Etsy like I do, but we're just in the next few days just trying to make that money. So. Yeah,
and what's been helpful here is that I always see these Kickstarters, and very few comic book Kickstarters have toys. But those who, it's like, how do they do that? It's so expensive to make a toy, so why do they even need our money? But with Clonsters, because the figures are all made by Amy, I think that we're able to deliver that experience, but a lot more personalized.
Yeah, because the ones that I've sold so far, they have, you know, the little certificates and everything, and I package them. So, but now that Clonsters is a story and their characters, I have so many cool ideas as far as that.
So we're going to be seeing the store expand with more Clonsters.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely.
That was going to be my question, was if the store for Etsy was going to continue going with the Clonsters.
Yeah, I kind of dropped off a little bit, but now that we're back in action, I would love to get the Clonsters store up and running, not just for the characters from the book, but I also make them specific for people, for how. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
All right. I have one more question for you, too. And there's an echo somewhere.
Not me though. I hear it too.
I hear it too. I think it's on your end.
Hello.
Yeah, I think it's on your end, Pat.
Okay.
Because we're so close to each other.
Maybe because we're so close. Hold on. Maybe I'll just
It sounds okay right now.
Oh, it's good now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now it's okay.
Okay,
no.
cool.
Oh, no. I hear it.
Oh, it's there.
It sounds
maybe
okay.
it actually clears it out.
What, Jed?
No, I said sometimes you just click out and click back on, and it clears it out.
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna let's can you mute yours really quick? Let's mute yours and see.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, works now.
All right, cool.
Oh, great. I'm tangled. Okay.
So I think
And
we're.
I just backed it myself.
Oh, thank you
Oh,
so much.
awesome! And I'm gonna back it. Hopefully, are you gonna have another vampire and garbage? I can't even remember the whole title. Are you gonna have another pledge for that? Because I want to pledge for a double of that, but I also want to get Clonsters. So if you'll have another one of that, I'll do that one. But if it's just you're not, I'm gonna just do Clonsters.
Do because that level is gone, but what you could do is add that amount, like just pledge the amount that it was, and just shoot me a note, and I'll be sure to get you that Vampire Emmy.
Awesome. All right, so you'll have another pledge tonight too.
So our final question is, what else can we expect from Continuity Entertainment, Pat?
All right, so a few new things. Some I haven't talked about anywhere. Some I have talked about a bit. In September, we're doing the second volume of Destiny New York. It's going to be a big campaign. A lot of rewards for that one. It's going to be.
Which I just want to interrupt you real fast, Pat. I've read Destiny New York, Volume 1.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm waiting for the physical copy, so that's why I'm like, I want to read it so bad. But
as soon as you say it's okay to do a review, I will get a review off for that.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you want to, it's okay now. Okay. I'm so excited. That book is gonna ship. The last I've heard, it's shipping to Kraken Prince warehouse in Chicago this Friday, and then it'll take 8 business days to get to me. So I'm super excited. And by the time the campaign for Volume 2 launches, everyone will have had the book for a decently long while. September 1st, for those who don't know Destiny New York, the concept is a girl who had a prophecy made about her. She has completed her prophecy at age of 13. She's in her late 20s now, about to be 30, and she's trying to figure out what to do with life. It's about her, her girlfriend, her entire group of friends. It's this sort of it normalizes magic. It's a world where magic is a real part of everyday life. So it tells a more dramatic story about life in a fantasy context. Volume 2 hits Kickstarter on September 1st. We're going to have some the first volume, it ended with some short stories by other writers, other artists. We have a great team of featured creators who are going to be doing these short stories in the back of Volume 2. So that's coming then. I can't announce my next thing after that because we're still developing it. But October, we have an anthology coming out on Kickstarter probably. We're still putting that together, but it's going to be a horror anthology with the tentative title of Modern Dread. And then January 1st, we're doing Shut Eye. And Shut Eye is a full color graphic novel. It's a horror story about insomnia and polyphasic sleep cycles, which sort of gets into all the sleep theory, and it sort of brings a girl's nightmares into reality. And it's a dramatic, emotional sort of creepy horror / drama story.
Nightmare on Elm Street type vibe.
Like Nightmare on Elm Street meets My So-Called Life.
Very cool. Good combination.
Nice.
Combination.
You don't hear anybody referencing My So-Called Life anymore. That's a shame.
It is.
It's a good show.
It's a great show. And, you know, I've probably dated myself to all viewers here. But, you know, yeah, I'm not ashamed.
Pat, I'm older than you, so it's okay.
Gotcha.
I realized that the other night when you asked, how does it feel to turn it? I was like, well, I didn't feel anything that I did 10 years later.
Yeah, my 30th birthday is next week.
Happy birthday.
God.
Thank you very much.
So, give Pat a birthday present.
Here, I'm at the end of the month.
Give Pat a birthday present and Kickstarter.
Yeah, exactly. My birthday is the day before the Kickstarter ends. So
there you go.
Birthday present.
You know?
There's always those people who say, I can't shop for this person. I don't know what to get them.
Kickstarter.
There, that's what you get, Pat. Anyone out there who knows Pat, you don't know what to get him for his birthday, back to Kickstarter.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to be wrapping up now. I just want to remind everybody, we will have a link for the Kickstarter in this.
I've had it multiple times in the chat too, so if you guys are still in there.
Yes, it's in the chat, and we'll put it in the description post Frontline Live because we're going right from here to Frontline Live. So we'll have it post Frontline Live. We'll put the link in the description. And like I said, it's featured over on Comic Frontline as the Kickstarter Spotlight over on there. And if Amy for those Clonsters, when she makes them, we'll add them and we'll so this way more people will see them and hopefully, you know, donate to the Kickstarter also. So is there anything else that you two would like to say before we go?
Just thanks so much for having me. You guys are awesome.
Oh, you two are awesome.
And as welcome on anytime.
Definitely.
There's an article over on comicfrontline.com for Clonsters Kickstarter, so you can go check that out too. That was up there from I think 2 weeks ago when their campaign first started. So you can go check that out also, and keep track on the Clonsters Kickstarter campaign.
Absolutely.
All right. This is the part where we all say goodnight. So, but we're not going to say goodnight tonight. We're just going to say see you in a couple of minutes because we're going to be back with Frontline Live and our top 5. So get all that stuff ready for us. Put it in the description when we come back. We're going to get started. All right. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Yeah, everyone.